But let's move in to our next segment. Well, actually, first, before we get into the Cowboys, because obviously that's what we'll end this off before we have our
We're
guest
gonna
in
talk about the
here.
Cowboys. Oh wow, I didn't know that. That's a nice
We're
surprise.
gonna, I'm gonna talk about them. I haven't ranted on them in like two years,
I'm gonna put
so
myself on mute. I'm just gonna
I'm
sit back and
I'm
just
ready.
let it rip.
But I wanna talk about this for a second because you said you don't think Herbert's in the top 10 as in the league right now.
No, I don't.
So okay, obviously he's not better than Mahomes. He's not better than Josh Allen. Not better than Lamar. Not better than Burrow. Not better than Jalen Hurts. So and that those five are solidified. I would agree. But I think after that, unless I'm missing someone, I'm sure I'm missing someone. But I think after those five, there's an argument. I think he's better than Dak Prescott. As much as Dak is a great regular season quarterback, I would take Herbert over Dak. I think Dak's in a way better situation overall, like when it comes to weapons, everything else. Would you take Dak or Herbert?
I'll take that because he's
Oh
accomplished more.
God.
He's accomplished more. But here's the thing with that, right? So we all have our opinion, and that's fine. I'm trying to pull up on my quarterback because I
No, you're
had
good.
my list. I had my list.
See if
But
somebody said like,
you gotta
okay, for
you gotta
example,
look at the accomplishments as well too. When we
yeah,
talk about great players, right? And we're ranking them. Where does Herbert rank in the class of 4 to 7 year NFL quarterbacks? Where does he rank in that area? That's something to think about as well. Because a lot of people talk about, oh, Herbert this. He's not more accomplished than Tua. He's not more accomplished than Tua. And we talk about this. So give me a body of work. So say his 5 years in the NFL and his 3 years in
but
Washington
like you
in
said,
Washington,
but like you
right?
said, when
So
we
you
had
gotta
the
look at it.
when we had these NBA arguments, you also told me it's not just him out there. So I bring that.
I get you're right. You're 100% right. And what I'm to that point, yes, but you're saying Herbert. We're talking about Herbert
as
now,
a
right?
quarterback,
And,
as a
and, and, and,
quarterback,
and, but
he's
how
I
can
think
we say how can we say how can you put him ahead of Tua? Tell me how you
he's
can
a
put him
better
ahead of Tua.
quarterback.
How, how do you say that he's not more accomplished than Tua?
But just as a quarterback, tangibles, everything else, he's a better player.
What? How? That's what
He's
I'm
a,
saying.
you
What has
put
he done? What has he done?
obviously accomplishment wise. No, is he? I mean, they both have what I think two has been to the divisional, and that's about it.
Yeah, yeah.
That, but
And they both been in the
that's
same
not by
amount of years.
much. That's not by
Oh,
much.
so what takes him above a guy like Tua? What gives him that? What is it because he's got a big arm? I mean,
No, I mean he has the better
what's the
arm.
determining
He has
factor
the
there? Is
better
what I'm
arm
saying.
by far. But I think
Well, okay,
if
I also had a
if
better arm
if
than Joe Montana.
if
So what does that
Herbert
mean?
if Herbert was in Miami, I think they definitely could have got to an AFC title game. I think things could be different if you switch out the quarterback. I think Herbert. I mean, like if somebody told me right now Jordan Love's better than Herbert, I would give them that. Because you could say Jordan Love's sixth, seventh. I don't
I'm
know.
looking here. I'm looking here, right? And again, I see Matt Stafford. I see Kyler Murray. I see Brock Purdy. I see Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson. I see Jared Goff, Joe Burrow, C.J. Stroud, Tua, Jordan
Oh,
Love.
Stroud's above
Ah,
him. Stroud's above him.
man, I'm sorry, man.
No,
You can't have I can't have him in the top 10 with these names players I just mentioned. Hell, if you want to talk about 1 year guy, hell, I'd take Jaden Daniels over him.
oh
I mean, I
yeah,
just would. I
that's
mean,
yeah.
he did it without a defense. So we talk about he doesn't have a weapon. Look what they hung 50 some points on Washington last year in the playoffs. Jaden he hung 30 on Philadelphia. So if you look at the names,
I forgot
right?
about Jaden Daniels.
And I'm not talking about the statistical behavior, right? I'm just talking about the names. And I just named, I think, 11 guys that I would take over your guy, Herbert. And then if you do this, look at this. If you look at a four, and I don't have it here in front of me, look at a 4 to 7 year window, quarterbacks in the league. I'd be willing to bet you. I don't have it, so it's not a fix. I'd be willing to bet you that Herbert is probably not top five in that 4 to 7 window. I'd have to get that data.
I think
But
he.
I do know that he and Tua were drafted in the same class, and then Jalen was drafted the next class. Then you got Brock Purdy, who's accomplished. You know, you've got
He's not better
our
than
guy.
Purdy. Purdy's not better than him as a quarterback.
Why not?
As a quarterback,
Because he doesn't have a big arm. Because he doesn't have a big arm.
Purdy's not what Purdy does not have the wet. I think we're going to see a bad season from Purdy.
That's possible.
I'm
I tell
fairly
you what,
confident we're going to have a bad season from Purdy.
If you ask the Philadelphia Eagles 4 years ago when he hurt his arm, they were so thankful because Philadelphia was not going to the Super Bowl that year. They lost to Kansas City. That would have been a San Francisco. When Purdy got hurt, the wind left the sail for the San Francisco 49ers. The wind left the sail. That was a saving grace for Philadelphia. Brock Purdy's a hell of a player just because he doesn't have a rocking arm. But I'm gonna tell you this, and I don't want to cast this to him. Man, looking at him play, looking at the kind of the disrespect early on, man, this reminds me of Joe Montana, especially being in San Francisco. He doesn't have a big arm. He was the last guy drafted. He's a guy who gets his team wins, and I'm gonna tell you, I would not be surprised. I don't expect him to throw for 5,000 yards and run for 750 yards. I just expect him to win. He makes winning plays. I like Brock Purdy definitely over Justin Herbert. And let's talk about Justin Herbert in the playoffs when he wet the bed.
I know. I'm standing. I'm standing.
17 games. He had 6 interceptions.
I'm standing on a rickety bridge. I understand.
Yeah.
So
we can go with Justin. You're right. So that's all I'm saying, right?
I need him to get out. I need him to get out of the Chargers organization. He's got to request a trade. He's got to request a trade or something.
Where's he going?
I don't know. Somebody would trade for him for sure. Somebody would trade for him.
He better go to the Raiders. He better go to the Raiders after Geno Smith leaves.
That's even worse. No